Transcending history and the world, a tale of souls and swords, eternally retold. Soul Calibur 2.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about some Soul Calibur 2, and why, in my opinion, it's the best of the series. There was just something special about this. Now, granted, each release that Soul Calibur has done has not really been a bad release. I mean, there are some characters may be questionable, but all in all, I think Soul Calibur has had a pretty clean run as far as releases, but Soul Calibur 2 is the best one, and it's not even close. For me, it's not even close. With a multitude of options, a multitude of galleries, a multitude of different ways to play and approach the game, the fluid gameplay styles, no character feels incomplete, no character feels too overpowered, everything feels pretty well balanced while feeling very aggressive. You can really match to your play style, however you play, whether it's super defensive, super aggressive, or even something like a counter grapple character. You can go to it. And then there's a whole arcade thing which I feel Soul Calibur 2 and 1 and 3, that's way out of order, but the message is still the same. The arcade buildup is just something spectacular, and especially with 2, they didn't have to try with the overly hyped CG animations that just would have put a nice flourish on it, but the way it works is like it's a text crawl with like a visual novel almost. So you have like artwork that's dedicated from that time, so it takes place in 1590, and it looks like maybe parchment paper or something that has been strewn about and drawn upon there, which I can really get behind and enjoy. And the fact that there is just so much, like in graphics, in gameplay, in the way things feel, that it's a 20-something year old game. I think 24, 25, 24, something like that, and it still plays as if it had just released. And this is exactly what I meant about the art style right here. But it is just something special, something that if you haven't played, you should play it. But I digress. Now we're going to be getting into the game and why I feel it's special. A little more than I have already. I mean, right now it's kind of just personal bias and everything else. So yes, Soul Calibur's last release was 2018, which was Soul Calibur 6. And while the character creation and everything else is top tier, and while the graphics look amazing even to this day, it's hard to believe that this game is 8 years old, I still feel like there is something more charming, more adept with the story, and something just more all around, not approachable, but just inviting with this second game. But Soul Calibur 2 had things like team battle, it had weapon master, it had arcade, time attack, whatever the setting, and then it had everything extra too. So you had extra arcade, which was custom weapons, extra time attack, extra team battle. You could go into it with standard settings with everything's just null and void, or you could go in with special weapons that would enhance your abilities. So you may have a weapon that, okay, so it drains your health, but each time you land an attack, it replenishes so much health and gives you a buff to your strength. Or you may see an increase in your offense, your defense. You may have weapons that are vampiric, which means they heal you. You may have weapons that cause poison. You can be very cheap, but there are also weapons to counter that too. Soul Calibur 2 was just the actual package. Aside from lacking a character creation, which I don't think hinders the game at all, I think that it is solely the best release. So now, going back to the big bad of the game, Nightmare. So, Nightmare The reason why I say Nightmare is because Nightmare is the living embodiment of Inferno. Inferno was such a cataclysmic enemy that I don't think it's touched upon very much anymore, other than the fact that Nightmare is Inferno in later releases of the series. But in this game, it's on the verge of everything just collapsing. Life in itself is about to collapse because Nightmare and his followers were successful in collecting enough souls and were just about to restore this whole being that is Inferno, and it hangs over you throughout the whole run of the game. And as soon as they are starting this ceremony, they are assaulted by 3 young warriors. In a matter of time, the cult was defeated, and Nightmare stood in front of them, wielding Soul Edge. After an intense battle, Nightmare fell, and the evil soul inside of Soul Edge sent the young warriors into a vortex of hellfire. Okay, this game is nuts. It's legitimately nuts. And if you don't agree with me, look at these scores. Okay, look at these scores. Like almost perfect all across the board. The story was captivating. The gameplay was captivating. The music was captivating. This whole game was just a full package. You could go through and legitimately check out your characters and, you know, their likes, dislikes. You get a whole breakdown of their character as a whole, including Heihachi, who was like transported here. And depending on your release, you would have different characters. So maybe if you had the Gamecube, you would have Link. If you had the Xbox, you had Spawn. And on the PlayStation 2, you had Heihachi. You can go through and listen to characters' voice lines. You could listen to different things that they would say, like if they got hurt, or at the end of battle, or the beginning of battle. You can go through, once again, read their bio, and have a free camera. The meat and potatoes of unlocking everything and what you want to play the most is Weapon Master. And it's like an immersive story that you can run through with the character of your choice and choose a custom weapon. Well, you have to buy them, but what's cool is it doesn't work like, oh, everything's available to buy just off the rip. No. Certain things are to be bought in certain areas, so you may have a special area unlocked that you can only buy stuff for the art gallery. You may only be able to buy certain background musics. You may be able to buy pictures, but whatever the case may be. Then you'll have certain areas that are maybe heavily weapon based. Then you'll have some that even offer alternate outfits. It's so cool to sit there and say that you can play through a game and unlock everything. I mean, I know that sounds kind of stupid, but the idea is you play through the story, and the more that you play through it, the faster you can unlock everything. And you can dungeon crawl. They have certain areas that are just a giant dungeon crawl, as a matter of fact, and you may have certain battle conditions. You may have a battle condition that's like, oh, your arms are heavy, so you can't throw. You may have a battle condition that if you get slammed to the ground, you shoot up into the air and you get a chance to be juggled. You may get a battle condition that there's only 10 seconds in the fight, so make it quick. It's crazy how much of a challenge, how much thought, and how much there is in this game. There were other releases at the time that did not have this much. The game managed an easier sidestep system. It had better avoiding tracking. It was the first of the series to have arena walls instead of each stage being a ring out. The soul charge system, which would boost your attack, had a 3-step system. Heavy imposing attacks that even a guard break wouldn't work on, but it was all in the strategy and how you were going to play. No matter the release, whether it was PlayStation 2, Xbox, or Gamecube, the game played just as fluid and it looked just as good on each system. I had the PlayStation 2 and the Gamecube version, and I have loved this game since I was young. I have signed up for tournaments for this game and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater when I was really young because I spent so much time playing it, and I will never not love Soul Calibur 2. So with that, everybody, I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate you all, and 1K gang, let's go. Play some more Soul Calibur 2.